So, gotta start with kind of like the boring stuff, man. How's training camp been going?
Pretty good, man. Real good.
Cool, man. This is your second fight at 160 pounds. Do you have to do anything differently, or is everything kind of, same old, so to speak?
It's pretty much the same.
Got it.
Pretty.
When you go back to Carlos Adames, man, how do you kind of break that down? He has one loss on his record. Do you go back to like the Patrick Teixeira loss, or do you kind of like ignore that since it was like too many years ago, man?
That was in 2019. That's like saying, uh, you know my loss in 2020.
So there's nothing at all you could pull away from that, man.
To happen. That's like you think you don't look at my losses and say, well, I can take from this and do that. You know what I mean? So of course I look at his losses.
Gotcha. Makes sense, man. Would love to kind of know, man. So when you beat Jared Hurd, I think that was 2019 or so, man.
Yeah.
You were on top of the world. You looked smooth as hell that night, man. You was the guy at 154 pounds. You
Mm-hmm.
picked up back-to-back losses, especially against Hernandez when
Yeah.
nobody expected that to happen. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of went wrong, man? Like, you was at the top, and then like, just what kind of went wrong there, man?
Uh, I don't really know, man. To kind of without making no excuses, man. A few things went wrong that I'd rather not talk about because don't nobody really care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The most important thing is that I can right these wrongs in on Saturday night.
Gotcha. Would love to know. I know you said you don't want to make no excuses or anything like that, man. But did the weight play a part in it? Because it's kind of ironic that you move up to 160 pounds, you fight your first.
For that Hernandez fight.
Well, no, just talking about like in general, because like those back-to-back losses, because I'm just saying it's kind of ironic that once you move up to 160 pounds and then your last fight, you win like every second of every round.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
like, did the weight play a part?
I think it's always. I'm not gonna say it played a part, but wait, when you can put on weight and move up to a different weight class and be more comfortable, then it's always a great thing.
Is there certain things about Carlos that you're a little bit more keenly aware of? And obviously, you got to be prepared for everything, the jab,
Yeah,
inside work,
yeah.
all that extra stuff. But there's got to be something where you're just like, nah, I know he does this really well, man. I got to really watch out for this shit right now.
I think he do everything really well.
Would you consider him the best guy at 160 right now?
I don't know because I don't. Who's there? Besides,
Okay, so we got, not counting yourself, of course, we got Jermall, we got Triple G, Carlos, obviously, Janabek. Those are probably the top guys at 160.
nah, I don't think he's better than those guys.
You don't think he's better than any of them?
Who you think he better than?
Uh, I don't know, man. Triple G, like 900 years old, man. I don't, Triple G's a little older, man. So I'd probably take Carlos over Triple G right now. Am I tripping? I guess your face says it all, man. I guess I'm tripping, man. But outside of that, man, what's kind of like the goal, Jermall? Is it frustrating for you to see like a guy like Jermall? Not talking about like the beef that you guys had from like beforehand and stuff like that, but he's had the belt for like 2.5 years, haven't defended it in like an incredibly long.
I wasn't. It didn't affect me.
But when you look at it now, though, obviously the goal is to win the interim belt. Do you kind of look at that Jermall Charlo and say, all right, what's he gonna do next? Does he plan on fighting, or is he just
I
kind of?
don't. That's thinking too much down the road. I'm thinking about. I haven't even thought of past Saturday night.
Got it, man. Would love to know. I know that it's kind of like a code with boxers. You don't really talk too much about sparring and stuff like that, but I did see an interview with Carlos, and he was just like, he hinted at pretty much like in sparring sessions between you guys, he got the better of you. What's
Who?
Yeah, Carlos Adames.
I never boxed him in the gym.
Well, shit, that's what he said. That's what he said during one of the interviews. So, all right, so okay, so I guess we could just forget about that.
Yeah,
In another interview, he did say that he does think that you're a good fighter, really a lot of skills and things like that. But once he lands, the fight's pretty much going to be over, man. I see that brought a smile on your face. So, what do you have to say?
I don't got nothing to say.
No trash talk or nothing, man.
No, I don't. I don't got nothing to say.
Fair enough, man. You've always been a guy that's been not just concerned about your division, but just like at boxing as a whole. You know,
Yeah,
you've always wanted everybody to fight the best. So how
yeah,
does it kind of feel to be like, all right, left and right, we got every top guy
yeah,
fighting each other?
yeah. They rumbling now. It feel good, man. It's a good time to be a boxing fan. Great time to be a boxing fan.
So I know that you don't want to look ahead. Carlos, it's a big fight, but
Because I haven't thought about it. It's something I don't even think about.
so for you, there's not another guy where you're just like, this guy is probably my big fight at. No?
I haven't thought about that. First of all, you don't have no the division is vacant. Jamal's about to fight Canelo.
Hmm. What do you
Johnny
think?
over there in top rank. Triple G is about to retire.
Basically, yeah. So I guess you kind of look at 160 as like not too much is going on, basically.
There's really not too much going on, but that's why it's easy for me to not even think about. Easy for me to not to think about it.
Makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Could I get your whole, thoughts and opinions on, if Charlo was to fight Canelo, how would it play out? And please don't give me the generic answer, it's a good fight. Like, no. Like, how you think it'll play out?
Well, I think that at that level, man, at any level, for real, guys got to get in the ring and line up
Mhm.
because whenever you got 6 to 8 weeks to train for somebody,
Mhm.
and they could like go over all your mistakes and you got film and it's difficult. You know what I mean? It's difficult. So I think they got to line up. I know that may sound generic, but they got to line up. I'm probably I would favor Canelo. Obviously, he's been more active. He's fought the better competition. You know what I mean? He's not coming off of 2 years of inactivity,
Mhm.
but it's a good fight.
Does it make sense to you? And Charlo, he'll do whatever he wants to do anyways. But does it make sense for a guy like Charlo to just jump into such a gigantic fight like that, like 2.5 year layoff? Does it make sense, or would you kind of rather see him, kind of get the rust off a little bit, man?
Bro, I don't care, bro. That ain't my business.
Fair enough. Let me
I don't, I don't care about that. I don't
fair,
even.
fair enough, man. Let me ask you one more question about a fight that not your business, but come on, bro. You know where
Craw-
I'm
Crawford and Spence.
for sure.
That's a 50-55 I've ever seen one.
Mhm.
I fourth. It really reminds me of Ray Leonard and Hagler.
Mm. But if you had
It's
to,
no buts, man. They two really good fighters.
do you put any stock into the whole, Crawford hasn't quote unquote fought anybody, coming from a guy like you, like yourself, like you fought all of the top guys when you were at 154 pounds. And,
Yeah, he fight. If he can't say he ain't fight nobody because he had all the belts. He can't make people appear. He fought the guys that was the champions. Did he duck anybody? Tell me who he ducked.
nah, I mean, me personally, I don't think he ducked anybody, but I guess
That's,
in comparison,
he had to fight who was there.
hmm,
Undisputed at 35, right?
no,
Undisputed.
no, undisputed at 40.
Okay. Wins the title at 35. Undisputed at 40. And he goes up to 47 and win the title there. I mean, he can only fight who's there.
Hmm,
You
got it.
can't make it here now. If they say the guys on his resume is wasn't that good, then that's whatever. But he can only fight who's there.
Gotcha, man. All right, so enough about like Spence and Crawford. So yeah, back to your fight, man. When you look at Carlos, at least on paper, I know you're gonna say you got to get in the ring, you got to fight the fights. I've interviewed you too many times in person, so I know exactly what you're gonna say, man. But I know you got to fight the fights, man. But on paper, would you look at Carlos as probably like the toughest fight of your career, or would you rank Charlo and Jarrett Hurd as above him?
What you think?
Man, you got me on the spot a lot for this interview, man. No, I don't think I wouldn't rank him above Jermall or Jarrett Hurd. I wouldn't.
Let me ask you a question. Why? I'm interviewing you. Why?
All right, cool. Well, Jarrett, he was the best guy at 154 pounds for sure. To me, he was definitely the best guy, and you beat him pretty. I wouldn't say it was a blowout, but it was a sound win for sure. Like, there was no doubts about it. And Jermall, when Jermall was at 154 pounds, he was one of, if not the top guy at 154 pounds, at least at that time. Because before then, Jarrett Hurd hadn't like established himself. So yeah, I wouldn't. And I'd probably put Carlos at maybe somewhere in the top 5, maybe number 5 or 6 at 60. So yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
So you just so you just gonna take my answer and run with it?
And like why you feel like why you feel the way you feel?
Well, I mean, I just explained it, like Jarrett Hurd was the guy and Jermall was also the guy. I don't think Carlos is necessarily the guy in the middleweight division.
Right. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'm with you. You say you don't think who's the guy? Say that again.
I don't think Carlos is the guy at 160 pounds. Very, very, very good fighter. But I just don't think, I don't think he's the guy, as opposed to fighting Jermall, who was the guy at 154, and Jarrett Hurd was the guy at 154 again, also. So yeah. So what do you think about what I said, basically?
Is he the best guy ever fought?
Essentially, yeah. On paper.
On paper, no. I think he has a really good skill set. But I've seen him come apart in fights.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? When he's being tested, when he's being fought back.
Gotcha. And just my last question for you, man. Would love to know. You're a guy that when you're boxing and everything is going smoothly, everybody's just kind of like glued to the screen, like J-Rod looked smooth. You had a bunch of guys from your division, old division, from Erickson Lubin saying it. I was Spence saying it. I've seen Crawford saying it. So, but people have always kind of like, well, not always, but people are just going to question your chin. What do you kind of say to people like that? Like, no, my chin is fine. My skills are going to pay the bills. What do you kind of say to people that, doubt that part of you now?
I don't say nothing. I ain't gotta my performance is going to say everything. I don't have to say anything.
I like it, man. I'm getting a little bit of a.
You think that when he hit me, the fight gonna be over? What happens if when he hit me and the fight is not over? And I hit him back, and he start gassing out like how he normally do. What's gonna happen then?
Okay, I think that's the perfect way to end the interview. Appreciate you, man.
Yep, I'll talk to you soon, man.